Hello, Blythe, Evie, Joe, Jack, Callum, Cadence, Lucy, Orion, and anyone else who's listening. Welcome to Story Time. I just got off of FaceTime with Joe. She asked me to tell everyone that we spent some time on FaceTime, and I had to say goodbye to her because I was getting ready to do Story Time. Today, I am telling you a story about my niece, Amara, who is Lucy's mother. So my sister Mary had a little girl named Amara when I was 15 years old. And I loved playing with Amara, telling Amara stories, and taking trips with Amara. So, when I was 17 years old, my sister Mary was taking a trip to a conference in Georgia where there was like a conference center, kind of cabins in the woods, sort of like a retreat center. And so she asked me to come along and take care of Amara, who was 3. So I was 17 and Amara was 3. And the deal was I was going to spend all day with Amara while her mother went to all these different classes. So I took a Greyhound bus from Pensacola to Tallahassee, met up with Mary and Amara, and we got on the road and drove in Mary's red Volkswagen Beetle up to Georgia. I remember we stopped and got some fabulous Georgia peaches because they were ripe and they were so sweet and juicy, and I loved them. We drove in through the country, and then we got to this small road that was taking us into this retreat center, and we came to this bigger house where Mary checked us in. We met all the different people who were going to be a part of this conference, and we were taken through the center, through the woods, to the cabin that we were going to stay in. So that was where we spent the evenings. That was where we had our where we woke up every morning, and that was where Amara and I played during the day. We would eat in a dining hall, and then we would walk through the woods. We would take hikes during the day. There was a lake there that had paddle boats that we would get on and go onto the lake on the paddle boards. There was a dock. We'd jump off the dock and we'd swim, and we would take more hikes. We would go back to the conference center to have our lunch. So we would have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the cafeteria at the conference center. And then Amara and I would go back to our cabin in the evening while Mary had more classes at night. So there was this one night when Mary was having classes, and Amara and I were sitting on the front steps of the cabin, and Amara started to really miss her mommy. And she started saying to me, I want my mom. I want my mom. I need to see my mom. And I said, oh, Amara, don't be sad. Your mom will be back very, very soon. And then Amara, who was 3 years old, pointed to a pine cone. And she said, oh, but Sheila, that pine cone is very sad too. That pine cone really misses my mommy. And I said, well, you tell that pine cone that pine cone doesn't have to worry because your mommy will be back very soon. And then Amara said, why don't you tell that pine cone that? So I picked up the pine cone And I said, "Oh, Pinecone, don't be sad. Don't worry. Amara's mommy's going to be back very soon." And then Amara pointed to another pine cone, and she said, "That pine cone's very sad too. Why don't you tell that pine cone not to be sad because my mom will be back very soon?" So I picked up that pine cone and I said, "Oh, Pinecone, don't be worried. Don't be sad. Amara's mommy's going to be back very, very soon." And then she pointed to another pine cone. And then I started to notice there were a lot of pine cones on the forest floor. So for probably 1 hour, I spent going from pine cone to pine cone, saying, "Oh, Pinecone, don't be sad. Don't be worried. Amara's mommy will be back very, very soon. Oh, Pinecone, don't be worried. Don't be sad. Amara's mom will be back very, very soon." And every time I thought I was finished, Amara would point to another pine cone. And I think I picked up every pine cone on that forest floor in front of our cabin until finally Mary returned to the cabin. And I said to Amara, "See, Amara? See, pine cones? We didn't have to be sad. We didn't have to be worried. Amara's mommy was coming back very, very soon." And my sister Mary said to me, "What are you talking about?" So you see, Amara was very clever. My guess is that Amara was as clever as each one of you are. You all know how to distract yourselves when you miss your mom or your dad. And if you don't know how to distract yourself, you know how to get somebody else to distract you. So I often think when I see a pine cone about Amara and Mary, and I'm tempted to pick up a pine cone and say, "Oh, Pinecone, don't be sad. Don't be worried. Amara's mommy is coming back very, very soon." I hope you like that story. I think it's a very fun story, and I think it is a fun story about Amara, about Mary, about me, and I think probably all of you could use that same technique when you want somebody to assure you that you don't need to be worried, you don't need to be sad, because your mommy or your daddy is coming back very, very soon. I love you all. I hope you keep taking good care of yourselves. Keep loving on each other. Always, always love yourselves no matter what, because each one of you is very clever and very imaginative and lots of fun. And never forget, I love each one of you to the moon and back. And we'll be back together for story time when I tell you another story or read you another story very soon. Bye-bye.